Skybox Network Assurance. As you can see here on the left-hand side, we have NIST policy and a PCI policy. These are policies that come straight out of the box in Skybox for network assurance. In order to do network assurance, you need to model your entire network. So you need to be able to get all of the configuration files or collect the configuration files from all of the layer 3 devices in your network. That be routers, firewalls, load balancers, and we even support some layer 2 devices as well. Anything that has to do with your network so that we can build an entire network model. We collect that data in a variety of different ways. We can either connect to the devices, we can collect it from a directory repository that you may have, or from different management stations that these products use. So there is a variety of ways of collecting the data and automating that collection. We want to automate it so that we can collect on a continuous basis so that we always have the most up-to-date network configurations. And when we do that, we also draw a network map for the customer. So you can quickly see here, oops, my network map. And I do have several different types of maps. So you can see this is the default map. This is your all networks map. And you can create different maps of different areas in your network. You can also zoom and focus and expand and show the number of hops between different devices as well. So the network map gives you a lot of ability to have visibility into your network. Once we've collected all the data, drawn the network maps, we apply a policy to the different zones of the network. And so you can see here that we've already identified several zones of the, for our policy. So we have a DMZ, external, internal, and partner for our NIST policy, and then these are the zones as described in the PCI policy. If I look at my DMZ zone, I can see that this is the network that belongs to my DMZ, and I would just assign these networks to these zones. I can go back and look at, for instance, my partner or internal network. Here's my internal networks, my partner networks, or my partner clouds and VPN clouds. So I've defined all of these networks into the different zones. I then calculate my compliance or run my policy against these networks, and I come up with the public policy is at 85% compliance. And I can quickly see here what low, medium, and high critical overall policy compliance. I can look at any one of these different sections and see which sections are at different compliance levels as well. And I can quickly see here that my block login services have failed. So I'm looking at my block login services between my internal zone and my DMZ zone. I know that I need to be blocking these types of services. And if I want to go and look at which violations, I can quickly see that my development servers have access to that DMZ on these specific ports. Again, you'll see the details based on NIST. You'll see the details based on your network. So this is the network, and these are the ports. And then when I go to the access results and I take a look at those, I can quickly see, if I do a show access route, an entire route of how this traffic is flowing through my network. It's going through the development servers, through a layer 3 switch, through this firewall, a couple of routers, the main firewall, and then finally through the production firewall and out the DMZ. So if I needed to remove this access, I know I need to go to 3 different firewalls, 3 different rules, and change those rules in order to disable the access or remove it. If I wanted to, I could also mark things as exceptions. So let's say port 22 and 23 are allowed, and I want to set an exception. I can do that with this, and I can also expire the exception if I only want to give it for another 30 days till I investigate. I can do that at the network level or, like I said, at the port level. For reporting, we have a variety of reports for network compliance as well, and these reports are also configurable. They're PDF, HTML, or rich text format. They can be emailed. You can limit the scope of these to a policy or to a network scope as well, so that you can actually customize as much of the reports as you want, and you can create as many of these templates as you want, and you can also then generate them automatically every day that you update your config files and after you've run compliance, and email them to the appropriate people. We want to look at a report, quickly see which sections. You'll get the maps, nice charts, and then the details of all of the different sections that are in violation and what the violations are. We also have the ability to have Access Analyzer in Skybox Network Assurance. Here we would go into network mode because we have the entire network modeled, and we can then go from scoping from any location on the network, and if we've put our networks into different locations, I could even do from London to the U.S., maybe to the actual DMZ in New York. So I can be as specific as I want or as broad as I want, and I can look for any specific services, let's say FTP. And if I analyze that, it'll come back and give me, based on the network, that there's 256 IPs available. Here's the network. Here's even the port if I need to be more specific. And I will see all the different routes and all of the different ACLs that are allowing that type of access across the network for FTP. So if I needed to remove FTP completely from my network, I could go through here and look at all the different places I have to remove it. And you can save these results in CSV, XML, or HTML so that you can look at them later. I can also look at block destinations, and I can see which networks are blocked there and which have deny rules, and so I can change deny rules as well. So you can do both blocked or accessible destinations as well as sources and block sources. So this is the query tool that gives you more visibility into the actual network, and you can ask anything of Skybox to provide you some answers. It's Skybox Network Assurance.